All right. Yep, looks like my audio levels are good. So we are going to get started with some data weave this morning. Let me see where Maven clean or just Maven test where we left off because I don't remember at all. It was Friday was last time I streamed, I think, on this stuff. And yeah, I couldn't stream yesterday, so for folks who, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we've got, yep. All right, we're in the process of working on that. Okay. Failed to execute. We have a failing test on scores a block of binary against a single break, so single Zord break. Right. Um, yes, that is where we were. Okay, so scores a block of binary against a single key Zord break. Yep. Okay. Um. So score blocks. Yes. So we're working on score blocks. So score blocks. Single character Zors, hex block. Hex block is from binary to hex, the block. Single character scores. Okay. So if I take, instead of taking this, if I take, um, let's see. What happens if I take this, right? No, I don't want to do that. I am a little out of it this morning. Um, hey, Diggs. So, okay, so we need to figure out how to score a block of binary against a single character Zord break. So we technically have it doing that, but we don't have a good test for it, right? Because I need an example of a hex encoded, but we could write one. That's easy enough. So we just give it a useful example. So if I say, let me go to my binaries hex here. So if I create a, surprised that didn't score. So if I create some arrays of, let's do 8, 9, and 10, right? Single break, Zord break. So if I do, so 8 is going to be, oh, what's 11? Oh, we'll just do 11. Oh, and oh, and 1. What do we get when we score that? Should be the same thing. Good morning, Lakota. let's see, what do we get now? So when I score those, I'm just getting zeros. Why am I just getting zeros for everything? Let me go look at my function here and remind myself what I'm doing. So score blocks is calling single character scores for a block of hex, right? And then from binary to hex. Okay, that's fine. So single character XOR. So let's go look at that. Is in algorithms, right? No, XOR break. Single character XOR is taking a string of hex characters, which is what I'm passing it. It's reducing over that and scoring each one. So it's taking a secret, which is so it's right padding. Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. So it's taking my hex string, taking the character, and in this case, the character is hex characters, right? Hex characters is all of the ASCII printable characters from string to hex characters. So if I go ASCII printable characters is all of these. So if I do this, so data weave set. So if I say 1, 2, 255 as array app $sign as binary as string. I'm gonna get back. Yep. Okay. So there's like 8, right? And then so there's that hex characters, right? And then secret right pad character size of hex string. Okay, so this is saying we're right padding the character, but is it, oh, from string to hex. Yeah, so we're converting that to hex. So if I say, let's just do 78 as binary as string. So 78 as binary as string, right? That gives me the letter N. And then if I say 2 hex N, right? So 2 hex, and we're going to do import star from binaries. So 4E, okay, right? Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, and then we're right padding that to be the size of this, okay. And then we're scoring it with this, right? Okay. So why am I getting 0 for everything? Shouldn't some of those, so let me go to my score function. So score hex string takes the string, hex, converts it to a string. No, that's fine. Takes a hex string, converts it to a string, and says for our candidates, we're going to split it 2-point letters, 3-point letters. Yep. Okay. There's a bug somewhere, and I am too tired this morning to fix the bug. So you know what? We're going to work on something else. We're gonna start a new thing this morning. Let's start a new thing because I am too tired to work on this. So let's do file, or even better, Control P, right? Data weave, create new library project, and we're gonna call this org dot Avio Consulting. We're gonna call this Advent of Code 2022 because that's the Advent of Code that's still available. Wait, yes. 1.0.0 and Advent of Code 2022. And we're going to put it in Code 2022. Advent of Code. We'll just put it in Advent of Code. Okay. You want to open the project in a new window? Sure, why not? So we'll close this window and open this one. Okay. So, adventofcode.com, leave. We'll come back to CryptoPals on a day where I'm not fried. So, first puzzles will unlock December 1st at midnight. Let's expand this out. Can I expand it out without? Here, we're going to move this forward. Order, move up. There we go. Is it going to let me? There we go. So, Advent of Code, for those who don't know, is a daily code quiz that is during the Advent calendar, which the Advent calendar is December 1st to December 25th every year. So the new Advent of Code, as you can see, is going to be coming up soon. Begins at midnight EST on December 1st. These are not. I'll never finish the entire Advent calendar. I don't have time to do all of them every day, but we can make a dent in them. So this year I'll be doing them, but let's go ahead and work on some of last year's Advent calendar. So we have Advent of Code 2023. Let's do adventofcode.com/2022. There we go. All right. So Advent of Code 2022, right here. And here is our challenge. So we've got day 1, calorie counting. Santa's reindeer typically eat regular reindeer food, but they need a lot of magical energy to deliver presents on Christmas. For that, their favorite snack is a special type of star fruit that only grows deep in the jungle. The elves have brought you on their annual expedition to the grove where the fruit grows. To supply enough magical energy, the expedition needs to retrieve a minimum of 50 stars by December 25th. Although the elves assure you that the grove has plenty of fruit, you decide to grab any fruit you see along the way just in case. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day of the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. The jungle must be too overgrown and difficult to navigate in vehicles or access from the air. The elves' expedition traditionally goes on foot. As your boots approach land, the elves begin taking inventory of their supplies. One important consideration is food, in particular the number of calories each elf is carrying, your puzzle input. The elves take turns writing down the number of calories contained by the various meals, snacks, rations, etc. that they've brought with them, 1 item per line. Each elf separates their own inventory from the previous elf's inventory, if any, by a blank line. So this is one elf, this is another elf, this is another elf right here. Okay? For example, suppose the elves finish writing their items' calories and end up with the following list. Right, cool. This list represents the calories of the food carried by 5 elves. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first elf is carrying food with 10,000, or with 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 calories, a total of 6,000 calories. Second elf is carrying one food item with 4,000 calories. Third elf is carrying food with 5,000 and 6,000 calories, a total of 11. Fourth elf is carrying 7, 8, and 9,000 calories for a total of 24,000. And the fifth elf is carrying 1 of 10. In case the elves get hungry and need extra snacks, they need to know which elf to ask. They'd like to know how many calories are being carried by the elf carrying the most calories. In the example above, this would be the 24,000. Right, it'd be this elf right here. Right? Carried by the fourth elf. Find the elf carrying the most calories. How many total calories is that elf carrying? To play, please identify. Okay, so let's identify ourselves with Google. We're going to use my Avio Consulting account. Cool. Will be Clayton Flesher. Cool. And we're going to do 2022. Right, that's the one we're going to do. Right. Okay, cool. So here we can get our puzzle input now that we're logged in. So let's open that in a new tab. These are all of our elves, right? So first we're going to write a test, and then once we get our answer, we just put it in here and it tells us if we're right or not. So we're going to write a test first that tests this scenario, right? So let's go to our source test. Actually, let's start with new module. We're going to call this day1.dwl, and we're going to say function day1a, because these have two parts. They have an A part and a B part. Day1a, elves, it's going to be a string, and we're going to return a number, right? So there's our interface. For now, we're just going to say 0 as our placeholder, and we'll add a unit test for that. So that gives us a good starting point. Let's delete the my module stuff and my mapping stuff because we don't need those. All right, and let's write our test. So day 1a, it should find the elf. So this list represents so our score would be find the elf carrying the most calories. How many calories is that elf carrying? It should calculate the total calories of the elf with the most calories in due. So day 1a is going to be our elves. So we're going to pass an elves variable here. And our this must equal to, and in this case it's going to be 24000, right? So let's put this inside of a do block. And say var, that's going to be our response. So we want var elves equals, right? Say that. Oop. And then dash dash dash. So we have a failing test. Let's just make sure that we can run our tests before we do anything else, right? Make sure we've got everything set up properly. This is a bad test, but we want to get set up and started, right? Here, let me move my browser back over here out of the way so you guys can see the whole. Okay, cool. That's how I'm going to run them. Maven test gives me a cleaner output than running the test results in here. Okay, so let's create a couple of sample folders, right? So new folder samples, and we're going to say new file under samples. We're going to do day one small.txt, right? And in that, we're going to place this, okay? And then we'll have a large example, new file day one large.txt. And in that, we're going to put the entire contents of this file. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So we're set up. So this is going to be read URL class path colon / samples / day one small.txt, right? And we're going to just pass that to, and this is going to be a text plain and as a string. Okay. And that makes our test happy, right? So now we should have a failing test that also, if we just go in here and hard code 4,000, this should make our test pass. Okay. And then we need to actually implement. Yep. Okay, we have a passing test. Let's write code that gets us to this. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we have elves. Elves is so elves, we're going to, first we're going to split it by new line, right? Because that gives us each elf, right? So elves split by new line. That gives us our array of elves. So so var each elf equals elves split by that. Right, we're going to do this inside of a do block. Okay. Each elf. I'll just do this for now. Right. Okay, so each elf is going to be split by double lines, right? Let's go back to our simple. Okay, so for where we have two new line characters, then we have an elf at each of those, right? So that should give us our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elves, right? And if I do size of each elf, or even better, yeah, size of each elf, that's going to be 5, right? We can run our test and confirm that. While that runs, we're going to start. Yep. So, what did I do wrong? Oh, because each size of each elf save. There you go. While that's running, we can start working on our next bit of code. Okay, so we've split the elves up. Now we want to go through each array and sum the array, right? Sum the contents. Expected to be 24,000, but was 5. Great. Okay, so for each elf, we're going to map over, or let's, each elf map. let's say elf. We're going to do elf split by new line. So that gives us that, right? Elf, and we're going to call this var elf packs equals split by new line, and then we're going to go then elf actually, let's do the then inside of here so we're not iterating over the whole thing. So we're going to say each elf split by new line then elf, and we'll do pack map item as number, right? As number, right? That gives us a collection of, this is just mad because it's expecting us to return a number and we're not returning a number yet. So we can fix that by cutting this and putting it up here, right? And then just having this for now, just return size of elf packs. Okay. So now we have our, so for each, we've got each elf, and then we're creating our elf packs by saying for each elf, we're going to split that elf by the new line, and then take that pack and split that by, or take those items and make them into numbers, right? And then if we say, we should probably just sum it here, right? We can just sum that here, right? And if we do that, we don't even need the map here. We can just do reduce item ACC equals 0, right? And then we'll just say ACC plus item. There we go. Now we're summing our packs. Cool. Elf pack calories. Okay. And then we just get the largest of our elf pack calories. Elf pack calories. Order by $. Actually, let's do $. And then take the first one that we get back, right? That should be a number, and that number in this case should be 24,000. If that gives us 24,000, then what we do is we run another test. It did. That got us the number we expected. So that finds the elf with the most calories. Well, it does, what it actually does is takes every pack, sums the contents of the pack, and then finds the pack with the most calories and returns that. Okay, so we can write a new test now. Okay, it should calculate the total calories of the elf with the most in the large file. In do var elves equals read URL class path samples day 1 large txt text plain string day 1a elves must equal to, and we don't know the answer to this, so we're just going to put 0 for now, because what we actually want is a We want our test to fail and tell us what the actual answer is, and then we'll confirm that here, right? And then we'll write the test that passes. I will be doing these for the Advent of Code 2023 on the days that I can. Oh, look, hey, it already gave us the result. So this should be our answer, 72602, right? So if we put that in here and hit submit, hey, we got the right answer. Gold stars. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so that's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to collecting enough star fruit. So let's put that in our test, right? So we have a passing test, and let's continue to part 2. By the time you calculate the answer to the elf's question, they've already realized that the elf carrying the most calories of food might eventually run out of snacks. To avoid this unacceptable situation, the elves should instead like to know the total calories carried by the top 3 elves carrying the most calories. This is going to be a one-line code change for us. This is great. That way, even one of those elves runs out of snacks, they still have 2 backpacks. And the example of the top 3 elves are the 4th elf, the 3rd elf, and the 5th elf. The sum of the calories carried by these 3 elves is 45,000. Okay, so that's easy enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to refactor this out to its own function, the entire thing, right? Everything except for this. So we're going to say fun find elf um, calories. And we'll just say else string. And it's going to return an array of numbers, right? That number, there we go. And this is just going to be everything inside of this, right? Up to there. And then what we're going to call here, let's make sure our test still passes before we do anything else. Find elf calories. Elves. And 0. Cool. So all we did was refactor that out into its own function. Simple enough. And let's rerun our tests, make sure they pass. And while we're doing that, we will then start our new fun day 2A. Elves. Actually, we don't even need to do that yet. Let's just write our test first. Okay, we refactored, tests are passing. Cool, cool, cool. So let's do, it's day 1B. Sorry, not day 2A. So day 1B. Day 1B. Described by it should calculate the total calories of the top 3 elves in the small file in do. So do var elves equals read URL class path samples day 1 small.txt text plain as a string. Day 1B elves must equal to, and the answer for that should be 45,000 because our sample input gives us that, right? So now we got to go write that. So function day 1B elves string number equals find elf calories, elves, and let's just go ahead and make the test pass 0 to 2, right? And then we're going to sum that, right? Okay. So if we run that, that should make our test pass. So it was very simple. We were able to reuse all of our code here. We just extracted it out and reused it in our next part. Okay, cool. That worked fine. So now let's write a test for that we don't know the answer to. Oops, I want to go up a level here. It should calculate the total calories of the 3 elves in the large file into 3 largest elves. 3 largest elves in the large file do. Okay. Do var elves equal. So we can just steal exactly this right here. And then just change one little bit. So we're going to make this be day 1B, right? Day 1B. So this should fail because this is not going to be the same answer. It's going to be larger than 72602. But we don't know what that should be. So we're going to use our test to calculate what it should be. And then we'll submit it against the Advent of Code site and see if we get the right answer. Okay, so it says the answer should be 207,410. That seems reasonable. Let's try it. Submit. Hey, we finished day 1 of the Advent of Code for last year. Cool. Awesome. And we have these nice descriptive tests that show us what we need to do. And so let's look at, let's go back to, see, and we got a nice little 2 stars for day 1. It's going to start drawing a picture for us. We have 20 minutes left, so we can go ahead and start day 2. I think we can probably get a chunk of day 2 finished. So once again, let me expand this out. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's do this. All right, we'll figure it out. So the elves begin to set up camp on the beach to decide whose tent gets to be closest to the snack storage. The giant rock, paper, scissors tournament is already in progress. Awesome. Rock, paper, scissors is a game between 2 players. Each game contains many rounds. In each round, the players each simultaneously choose one of rock, paper, or scissors using a hand shape. Then a winner for that round is selected. Rock defeats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock. If players choose the same shape, the round instead ends in a draw. Appreciative of your help yesterday, one elf gives you an encrypted strategy guide, your puzzle input, that they say will be sure to help you win. The first column is what your opponent is going to play. A for rock, B for paper, and C for scissors. The second column, and then he gets cut off, called away to help with someone's tent. The second column, you reason, must be what you should play in response. X for rock, Y for paper, and C for scissors. Winning every time would be suspicious, so the responses must have been carefully chosen. The winner of the whole tournament is the player with the highest score. Your total score is the sum of your scores for each round. The score for a single round is this, the score plus the score for the outcome of the round. Okay, since you can't be sure if an elf is trying to help you or trick you, you should calculate the score you would get if you were following the strategy guide. For example, suppose you were given the following strategy guide: A, Y, B, X, C, Z, and then here's how we would score that. In the first round, your opponent would choose rock, which is A. You should play paper. This ends in a win for you with a score of 8, 2 because you chose paper, and 6 because you won. In the second round, your opponent will choose paper. You should choose rock. This ends in a loss for you with a score of 1, 1 plus 0. In the third round is a draw with both players scoring scissors, giving you a score of 3 and 3, 6. In this example, if you were to follow the strategy guide, you would get a total score of 15. Okay, so let's start working our puzzle. So let's move this over a bit and put this back over here. Okay. So if we say we're done with this, we don't need any of this anymore. Let's start a new file. New DataWeave module, day 2. And we're going to have day 2A, and it's going to take a plays string. It's going to return a number. And for now, let's just put, we want our number to be 15, right? So let's return 0 for now. And let's add a unit test. Day 2, day 2A, it should calculate the score if you follow the plays in do. So plays must equal to 15. Let's do block here so we have some variables we can set up. And we're going to say var plays equals read URL class path samples day 2 small txt text plain. Okay. Dash dash dash. Okay. So first thing we need to do is create our samples. New file day 2 small.txt. And that is going to be this. And let's also go ahead and create our day 2 large to large.txt. And that is going to be this. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So it looks like we're going to split. So each play is going to be its own line. And then we're going to split that by the white space to get our play and their play, right? So if we have plays split by new line, Okay. And say var actually, let's do this. Let's do it at this level. Yeah, get that, and then split by new line, right? Then I don't want to do it that way. Yeah, we could do it that way, right? Uh, raw plays, well, split by new line, then play line, play entry. Now it's play lines. That's more accurate. Play lines, map, play. And then split, see, play, split by white space, right? And then let's do this. Let's say then, we're going to have a then inside of our then. Then play, or then play uh, entries. Uh, my play, their play, right? Their play is their play. Zero. My play is find my play. -1. Okay. So let's write a function for that. Find their play, right? Takes a play. Oh wait, no. Yeah, that's fine. Play is string, and we're going to return a string. Play match is this. Invalid input play expected. I'll just work on it here. Case A is rock. Case B is paper. And case C is scissors. Expected attribute, or did I miss something up here? Probably did. All right, well, we'll come back to it. Find my play, string. It's going to also return a string, right? Play, match, case, by Lacote. And this is XYZ, right? So XYZ, yes. And let's see, X equals. I also have to go soon, so we won't finish this today. X, Y is paper, so yeah. So X is rock. Rock. Case. Y is paper. And case. Z is scissors. And something is not happy somewhere. So I'm going to restart my studio code. Those are my old ones. I don't want my old ones. File, open folder, and my code 2022. Here we go. All right. Day 2. Okay, so it doesn't like this invalid input function expected attributes or okay, so it's something from this that it doesn't like probably. So do I have a matching parenthesis? I have that, I have that. Yeah, it's something from up here. I've got syntax issue somewhere. So it's probably in this junk. So let's just do this. So if I close, if I do that, right, does it go away? It's something dumb. Yeah, it is in that. So, oh, I know what the issue is. I don't have a do block around this whole thing because I'm an idiot. Yep, that was the issue. Um, and then this should be play entries, right? Play entries. Yeah, this should be play entries map. Entries map. There we go. Okay. Find their play, find my play. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. There, I fixed the issue. So right now we're saying their play is this and my play is this, right? And we have an array of plays from that. So let's just do plays. formatted plays, right? And then we should formatted plays, map, score play, and then we're going to sum that. Have we got enough time to write that? Maybe. Let's do function score play. Play is an object, right? And we're going to return a number. Okay. So if I just return 0, does everything get happy as far as formatted plays, map, score play, expecting type object but got array of object? There we go. Okay. Now it's returning an object. Thank you, Syntax Highlighter, for catching my screw up. All right, so score play. So play, match, play, dot, my play, match, case, rock, let's do this. If play dot my play equals rock and play dot their play equals rock, I don't like that. We'll write our scoring algorithm tomorrow. We're out of time anyway. Okay, it's a good stopping point. All right, folks. We'll score tomorrow. Have a good one. Getting ramped up for the Advent of Code for 2023 by doing some more of 2022. Laters.